How does Iran provide a glimpse into the future for the rest of the world? February 2026 seemed like it was going to end relatively without any major incidents. Nobody expected the United States to attack Iran. After all, at the time, both countries were in the middle of peace negotiations. By all accounts, the negotiations seemed to have been going well. Then on the 28th, the US and Israel launched joint strikes on Iran. Its first act was to kill Iran's supreme leader. The ultimate goal was explicit. They wanted regime change. The effects less than 10 days into the war have been catastrophic. Not just on Iran, though it has certainly been devastated by this war, but on the rest of the world. Some 23,000 flights have been canceled around the world. It's the largest disruption the U.S. $11.7 trillion travel industry has ever seen, as reported by Fortune.com. Oil prices have soared past $100 per barrel since Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz and suffocated global trade. Countries around the world, including the U.S., have begun considering the possibility of tapping into strategic national fuel reserves. The Persian Gulf is a dominant source of fertilizer. They nourish crops that yield roughly half the world's food supply, as reported by the New York Times. The world is highly reliant on fertilizer and associated raw materials supplied out of that region. Less fertilizer means higher fertilizer prices. It leads to reduced yields and limited food supplies, which means more expensive food. We are essentially headed to a nightmare scenario, according to Global. Iran is just the latest victim in the U.S. global onslaught for more control over oil and resources. Venezuela met a similar fate earlier in the year. While not as violent as the Iran war, Venezuela did have its president kidnapped. Perhaps out of fear, the remnants of the Venezuelan government re-established diplomatic relations with the U.S. and agreed to hand over oil and critical minerals to U.S. control. And before that, we saw Greenland being threatened with U.S. annexation. It also has tremendous untapped oil reserves. Iran, Venezuela, and Greenland offer glimpses into what the future has in stock for other countries. The United States, in its desperate grasp for energy resources and for money to fund its vast empire, is dropping pretenses of respecting international law. It has set its sights on conquering energy-rich countries around the world. Will any country be safe? The current situation stems from many different factors. Of course, there is the ideological side. The U.S. and Israel have long wanted to put Iran under its heel. But there's also the economic aspect. The U.S. is drowning in debt. This debt has caused immense problems for the average U.S. citizen as the government resorts to austerity measures to pay off these debts. One reason this debt has skyrocketed is because the government is spending too much on maintaining its international empire. It's also raising funds from the wrong sources. Instead of raising public spending from the vast treasure troves of its own land economic rents and its own commons, it raises its money from taxes, like income taxes. The kind of taxes that average folks have to pay and rich folks get to dodge. Maybe a war between the U.S. and Iran would have been inevitable anyway, but at least it wouldn't have had any sort of economic pretext if the U.S. actually funded itself using economic rent from its land and its commons. In any case, it's high time Americans reconsider how much power it allows its government to have. The same goes for people around the world. What better way to limit such government power than through a citizen's dividend?